In this video, we are going to discuss about package configurations. Why we need package configurations? Package configurations, as you all know, plays a major role when deploying your packages from one server to another server. Let me take an example here. I have a database connection. I'm developing the package in my development environment. So while moving to the production, I have to change the settings. I have to change the connection string. I have to change the database to which it is pointing. So I have to make a couple of changes when moving the package from one server to another server. So it will be a very tough job to modify the variable values or the connection strings or some related stuff while moving or while deploying to different servers. So to overcome that issue, to overcome with the problem, the package configurations were introduced. Now let's see what's the advantage of package configurations. If you go for package configurations, you don't need to open the bits to modify the values of the parameters or variables or some connection string expressions and so on while moving from one server to another server. Let's see how to configure the package, how to configure these package configurations. And also in this session, we are going to discuss about XML configuration and and we are going to discuss a little bit about what is this XML configuration and how to do the same. For demonstrating the same, I have taken a project, new project, and it is just empty. You can see there is nothing else in. It's a plain empty package, and I've given the name of the project as XML configuration project. So first, let me take one script task. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to define a variable, and I'm going to call this variable in the message box of a script task, and I'm going to create a package configuration for the same variable value, and let's see how you can change it in the configuration file, which will be affected in the package while executing the package. So let's start with the creation of a variable. I'm creating a variable at package scope. You can see the scope is packaged, and I'm naming it as some temp, and I will give it as string data type, and the default value is I am testing. So after defining the variable, it's not a single, so I have to change it as a string. It has taken a single. Sorry, first let me remove this value and let me change to string. Now I'll give the default value as I am testing. Fine. Now let me edit the script task which I have taken, and I will take the temporary variable which I have created at package scope to the read-only variables. So this is the variable user temp. Click on OK. So under read-only variables, I have taken the variable user temp. Now I'm editing the script. And I'm going to call a message box to show the variable value. Nothing else I'm going to do here. Message box dot show. What I want to show is the variable value dts dot variables of I want to show user variable value. I can get it by using this user variable temp dot value dot to string. I'm converting it to string. So this is the code I have written. You can see message box dot show. So if I build this script task, and once I execute this package, whatever the value that is available for the user variable temp will be shown in a message box. Let's see the same. I'm clicking on execute button. So it is executing. Oops, something failed. Let me see what the problem is. I think it will be the problem with the package. The script task. Let me check the same. This is read-only variable. Everything fine here. There should be some problem in the package, it seems. Message box dot show details dot variables dot value dot Is it temp or whatever the value I've given? Let me check the same. What the variable value are. The problem is with the temp, it should be TEMP capital T. Let me build the project again. It is succeeded. Let me close it. And now the script task, when the package is ready with the script task, which will show the value that is assigned for the variable temp. Now you can see it is popping up the message, I'm testing. Okay, fine, the package is working fine. Now let's see what is this package configurations. Let's say if you want to deploy the same package in different servers with a different variable value. So every time you have to open the bits, come here to the variables, change it, and then deploy it. That's not the best way to do that. So every time you need to open the bits package and take the deployment utility and create a deployment utility and then use the new deployment manifest file to deploy the package in different servers. That's not the best idea to do. So to overcome with this, people Microsoft introduced package configurations. So to configure this, you have to go to SSIS, select the package configurations, or you can find the same option by right clicking on the empty area on the package. So package configuration, first thing you have to do is you have to enable package configurations and click on add. You can see this is welcome page. You can go click on next. Here it supports 5 different types of package configurations. One is XML configuration file, environment variable, registry entry, parent package variable, and SQL Server. If you see, there are 2 different options. One is specific. First one, let me go for XML configuration. As I'm going to demonstrate the same, this video is meant for XML package configuration techniques. So I selected that XML configuration file and specify the configuration settings directly, or configuration location is stored in an environment variable. This is the direct way of specifying the path of the file, but this is indirect way. We will have a different video for this indirect way. And now what I have to do is I have to browse the XML file. I have to provide the XML file which will store the configuration information. So I'm going to, this is taking me to the project folder, XML config project. So I'll give the name XML config underscore config. Let's say I have given XML config as my configuration file name. So the extension will be dts config. So don't get confused. Don't search for xml extension. The extension will be dts config. I've selected the XML configuration file and the path of the file. So click on next. What you want to be configured, for what you want to pass the values dynamically. If you see here, you have all the options at this package level. Whatever the things that are there, if you say this is your script task. In script task, we will have some variables and properties. You have the temporary variable, right? You can pass values to this, and properties. Under properties, you can disable. You can pass the value true or false dynamically, or I mean to say at runtime. Or you can change the name at runtime. Read-only variables. You can set some read-only variables at runtime. So you can set you can check whatever you want for what are the properties you want to pass the value at the time of at runtime. So here my intention in this particular video, I'm going to demonstrate about passing a variable value from configuration file. So I'm going to this variables under variables folder. You can see one variable present, that is temp, which we created. Under that there will be properties related to this particular variable. This variable has some properties: read-only property, name property, value property, and so on. So here I want to set the value property dynamically. The current value properties I'm testing, as you can see. Fine, click on next. Give some name for this, XML config. Click on finish. So here you can see the preview. This XML config is a configuration file and it is located in this path. You can see the path is given and the properties are the temp, user variable temp, and the property is value. This is what I'm gonna store as part of my configuration. So we created a configuration file here. Now let's go and see the project folder, whether the configuration file is created or not. This is the project folder. Let me go to this. You can see DTS config file is created, and if you edit it with Notepad, you can see the property which we have provided as part of the configuration settings available here for modifications at the time of execution. So you can see property is of a variable temp, property value is value, and here you can provide the value, the new value you want to provide at the time of runtime. So you can see this is the existing, the default value, and if I execute this process, this package again, it will get the value from configuration file, and it still remains the same. I'm testing, so executing fine. Let me change it. I'm testing this to test config file, and I'm saving the application. I saved it. Now let me re-execute it. Now it will go there and get the value from the configuration file, and you can see the value is getting changed. So you don't need to open the beads to change the variable values and deploy it, create a deployment utility, and then deploy it to the server. You don't need to do all those stuff. You can have one deployment utility, that is manifest file, and you can make use of the configuration file to pass the values dynamically or to pass the values at the time of execution. Now, if you observe here clearly, the test spelling is not correct. I'm changing it, I'm correcting it, but I'm not saving the file. I have not saved the configuration file. If I re-execute it, it will get the old value only. But once I save the value, that means the configuration file has taken the new value. Now I saved it, and if I try to re-execute, it will get the fresh value from the config file. So this is how you can make use of XML configuration. And if you, I have selected only one, that is temporary variable, user variable with the name temp value as a property. I can select n number, and in the same way I can select n number of configuration files per package. And keep in mind, one package configuration files will not conflict with the another package configuration files in the same project. That's one advantage you will have. So you can define your own configuration file for every package, and you can add the properties to which you want to pass the value at the time of runtime. So hope you understood the concepts, and I know this is pretty tricky one for most of the guys. It's not because it's tricky, it's because people don't want to concentrate on these particular concepts, deployment, utility, and so on. So I hope this will make your work easier and you will try learning the complete deployment utility. So browse for next videos. I'm going to add more videos on this SSIS package deployment. Thank you guys.